Hello everyone, I'm Anita with AnitaByDesign.com and welcome to the Beginner's Sewing course where I will be teaching you the basics of constructing your own garments. Now if you've never sewn anything before or if you're very new to sewing, then this course will help you to start your journey into sewing. Now today is lesson 1 of our first project, and our first project will be making a circle skirt. So in lesson 1 I will be teaching you how to take your waist measurement, how to read your pattern envelope, how to pick out your pattern and your notions, and how to prepare your fabric before sewing. So let's get started. To take your waist measurement, I want you to grab your tape measure, and what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this tape measure around your waist at the smallest part of your waist. So you can put your finger here and bend over, and wherever the crease is, that's going to be the smallest portion, the smallest part of your waist. So take your tape measure, wrap it around that area, and when you're taking your waist measurement, make sure you do it in maybe a fitted t-shirt or a tank, something that's close to your body. Don't take your measurement over bulky clothes because you will not get a true measurement. So go ahead and take the measurement. Make sure that your tape measure is parallel to the floor. You don't want the back lower or higher or the front lower and higher. It needs to be parallel to the floor to get the true measurement. So once you have that done, make sure you have 2 fingers under the tape measure so that it's not too snug. Take that number and you're going to write that down because that's the number you're going to use to purchase your pattern and to cut your pattern. Okay, so once you have your waist measurement, I want to teach you how to read the pattern. So we are using Butterick 4686. That's the pattern we're using for this project. Now, this is the front of the envelope, of course, and it tells you the company name, which is Butterick, and this number you see here to your left, B4686, that means Butterick, and then that's the number. So this is the number you're going to look for when you go to the fabric store. Over to the right, you have the pattern envelope, AA, and under those letters you see numbers in parentheses. These are the sizes of the pattern. So your waist measurement will coincide with the pattern sizes, and you'll see that on the back. So when you go to the fabric store, you're looking for Butterick number B4686. Okay, before we look at the back of the envelope, I want to bring to your attention something that I forgot to mention on the front of the envelope. You will notice there are 6 different views for this circle skirt. You have views A through E, but there are 2 views of B. So there are 2 different looks you can get with B. So we will be sewing views C or D, and you will choose which one you want. The only difference is C is a shorter skirt. Okay, so that's the front. Now to the back of the envelope. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the flap, the back flap of the envelope. And here is where you will see the different sizes for this pattern. It comes in size 6 through 20. Now these sizes do not coincide with ready to wear. When you go into a department store to purchase a skirt and you wear a size 8, it's going to be totally different from the pattern size that you will be choosing. So we went with a waist measurement, and that's the first measurement you see here. So let's say you are a measurement of 24 in the waist. So you will go over to 24, and above 24 is the number 8. So that's the size pattern that you will be purchasing, and that's the size you will be cutting most likely. Now, moving down to the description, the next section here gives you a description of this skirt, and it says below mid-knee skirts, and that's for all of the views. They are below mid-knee. Now it gets into more detail for the different views. So for A and B, it tells you that it has pleats and then other details. Then it tells you something extra about view B and views C, D, and E. So you get more details about each view. The next section tells you what notions you will need to complete the skirt. And the notions are just the supplies you'll need, like your zippers, your thread, so forth and so on. Now, it doesn't list thread here. You'll have to always remember that you need thread for whatever project you're working on. So for skirts A through E, that's all of the views, you're going to need a 7-inch zipper. And I am going to have you to purchase an invisible zipper. We will not be using a regular zipper, an invisible zipper. And it also says that for all views you need hooks and eyes. Don't purchase the hooks and eyes because we will not be using them. Okay, and then for the different views, it tells you extra items that you'll need. For views C and D, you're not going to need anything extra, just the 7-inch zipper. Now the next section tells you about fabrics that you can choose for this skirt. Now for all of the views, it gives you recommendations, and keep in mind that these are recommendations. You can choose different fabrics. The only thing I will caution you is when you're sewing a pattern that calls for a knit fabric, you must use a knit fabric because that pattern is sized for stretch. Now this pattern calls for woven fabrics which don't have stretch, and if you wanted to use a knit fabric, that would be okay. So you would just look at the list and see what fabrics they recommend, and if you choose to, you can go along with what they recommend, or you can get something similar. Moving down to the next section is where you find out how much fabric you need to purchase. Now here where it says combinations, you get the letters AA and EE. These are the envelopes for the pattern. So in envelope AA, you get sizes 6 through 12. In envelope EE, you get sizes 14 through 20. So based on your waist measurement and the size that you are, you will choose the coordinating the envelope. Okay, now let's say you're going to choose skirt C, which is the one I have highlighted here. Now, how much fabric are you going to need? Well, that depends on the width of the fabric that you are purchasing. When you go into the fabric store, you'll see that the fabrics come on bolts and they are different widths. The two choices that they give you here on this envelope are 45 and 60 inch, and that's what you'll see on all of the patterns, 45 inch or 60 inch. So if you're choosing a fabric that is 45 inches wide, then you will be purchasing, let's say you're a size 8. So here is the 8. You're going to go down to skirt C and the 45 width, and you see that you need 1 7/8 of an inch. If you were going to choose a fabric that is 60 inches wide, you go over to the 8 and you will need 1 5/8 of an inch. So that's how you choose your fabric. Now, going down to the bottom, you will see other measurements, and this is the back length from the waist. So this tells you how long the skirt is going to be after it's finished. So this here is the finished measurement. So for skirt A, B, and C, the finished measurement is 25 inches, and that's from the top of the waistband to the bottom of the hem. For skirts D and E, the finished measurement is 29 inches. Now down here at the bottom, you'll see the illustrations, the sketches of the different skirts, and this gives you the view of the front and the back of the skirt. And that's it for reading your pattern envelope, and now you are ready to go to the fabric store to purchase your fabric and notions, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a trip to the fabric store, and I'll show you how to use or how to choose your fabrics. Okay, so now we're at the fabric store, and the first thing I want to show you guys is how to choose your pattern. So head over to the pattern section in your local fabric store and look for your pattern catalogs. Now, the 4 most popular pattern companies, which they call the Big 4, are Butterick, Vogue, Simplicity, and McCall's. There are many other pattern companies. These just happen to be the most popular. Now, every pattern company has their own way of cataloging their patterns within their catalog. This is the Vogue catalog, and Vogue uses a tab system. So you'll see all of the tabs on the side of the catalog, and if you're looking for a dress pattern, you will just go behind the dresses tab and then just look through the dresses to see what they have to offer. Butterick uses a different system. They use a color-coded system for cataloging their patterns. So if you're looking for a dress, you'll go behind the pink tab under dresses to find a dress. Now, we will be working with Butterick 4686, and I saved the page just so you can see. So once you find the pattern that you like, you're going to locate the pattern number. And once you locate that pattern number, then you'll go over to the files to find that pattern. So let's head over to the file drawers to look for Butterick 4686. Okay, now we're at the pattern drawers, and here is where they keep all of the patterns. So you see they have the Vogue patterns, and then here we have the Butterick patterns. And we're looking for Butterick 4686. So you're going to look at the numbers here to find out where your pattern is, and our pattern is going to be in the top drawer. So you see they have all of the tabs for the numbers, and we're looking for 4686, which is right here. There's the tab. So then you go behind that tab and find your envelope. And remember, I'm choosing envelope AA because it has my size. So you're going to take your pattern, and then you'll go to purchase your fabric and your notions based on the information on the back of the envelope. So now we're in the pattern section of the fabric store, and you just decide which type of fabric you want to use for your garment and go to that section. We're in the knits because, of course, knits are my favorites. Now I'm going to show you the fabrics. You'll see here they come on these bolts. They're rolled on bolts, and on each bolt you'll get information about the fabric that you're choosing. So here, let's turn it right side up. You'll see that this fabric is a knit. So it tells you what type of fabric it is here. Under that, you'll get a description of the print of the fabric. Next, you get the fabric width. And here it says 57 inches. Now remember, you have two choices on the pattern instruction sheet. There's on the pattern envelope, there's 45 inches and 60 inches. You can use 57 inches for your 68th width that's required on your pattern. Okay, that's very important to know. Over here you have the fiber content. So this knit is constructed of 95% polyester and 5% spandex. Next you have the care instructions. And finally, you have the price per yard. So this fabric is $14.99 per yard. Now, I want to show you a 45-inch bolt. This is a cotton fabric. And here you will see the name brand. Up top, it tells you the name brand again. Under, you get a description of the print, the design on this fabric. Under that, you'll get the care instructions. To the right, it tells you the fiber content. This is a 100% cotton. And down below, it tells you it's 43 inches in width. Now, your pattern envelope gives you the choice of 45 or 60. Again, 43 is okay for your 45 width if you're choosing this fabric. And the price is $9.99 per yard. So those are the fabric widths that you can choose, and now you know how to read the bolt of the fabric when you're choosing your fabric. So now let's go over to the zippers. Okay, so now we're in the zipper section, and we will be choosing an invisible zipper. There are many kinds of zippers to choose from. We need an invisible zipper, and the length needs to be 7 to 9 inches. So this is the invisible zipper that I will be using, and it says right on the package, invisible, to let you know that it's an invisible zipper. Now I want to open this up so that you can see what it actually looks like. This is the invisible zipper. You don't see the teeth of the zipper on an invisible zipper. Now with a regular zipper, you do see the teeth. And I'll put this one down and open up the regular zipper so that you can see the difference. Here on a regular zipper, you see the teeth of the zipper. With the invisible zipper, no teeth. So make sure you choose an invisible zipper, 7 to 9 inches. And then you'll be ready. So now we're going to go over to the thread so you can choose the thread to match your fabric. Okay, now for your thread. I want you to choose a 100% polyester thread, all-purpose thread. And I want you to choose polyester because it's stronger than cotton. Cotton tends to break easier, so make sure you get a 100% polyester thread. And make sure you bring your fabric over to the thread section with you so that you can color coordinate the thread with your fabric. Same thing with your zipper. When you go to choose your zipper, take your fabric with you. And the way you'll know that it's a polyester thread is it tells you on the end of the spool that it's 100% polyester. So just make sure you take care of that detail. Now that we have all the supplies we need, let's get sewing. A word of caution about choosing your fabrics. Stay away from stripes, plaids, and one-way direction fabric. One-way direction fabric is fabric where the design is printed in one direction. So if you're purchasing a flower or a fabric with butterflies, if all the butterflies are pointed in one direction, stay away from that fabric. And the reason is when you lay out your pattern pieces, you will have to do matching. And you don't want to get into doing that right now as a beginner because it will frustrate you. When you're trying to match plaids and stripes, it becomes very frustrating as a beginner. So stay away from those fabrics. I also want to suggest that you purchase extra fabric for mistakes. And I'm going to be giving you a pocket piece for the pattern that you're using. So you're going to need a little extra. So go ahead and purchase about half a yard extra in your fabric. Now that you know how to read the pattern envelope, you know how to choose your fabric and notions, I want to talk to you guys about pre-treating your fabric. And this is a very important step that you should not skip. Now, remember in the fabric store, I showed you on the end of the bolt that there are care instructions. Those are the instructions that you're going to need to follow to pre-treat your fabric. So if you choose a fabric that's machine washable, then you're going to need to wash your fabric in the machine before starting your project. If you choose a fabric that's dry clean only, then you're going to need to take your fabric to the dry cleaners and have it dry clean before starting your project. Now I'm going to be using this beautiful Plum Ponte double knit fabric, and it's machine washable. So I'm going to wash my fabric and it'll be ready next week when we get ready to start. And after, if you're machine washing your fabric, make sure you press it. Make sure you iron it before starting the project also. Now, next week, I'm going to meet you guys here in the studio, and I'm going to teach you how to read the instruction sheet for your pattern. I'm going to teach you how to lie out the pattern pieces, how to prepare the pattern pieces before cutting, and how to cut out your fabric. Until next week, when you live in your design, it is from there that you shine. I'll see you guys in the studio next week. Bye-bye.